Now, today we are deliberating on a topic that is management of grasslands. Basically, we have observed that the management of grasslands is mainly focused on the needs of the humans. To fulfill the needs of the humans, these grasslands have been raised at the cost of the forests. At the same time, the management of grasslands is a bit difficult. If we see the kinds of the grasslands, one grassland differs or it varies from another grassland in terms of its topography, in terms of its latitude, in terms of its longitude. Therefore, to formulate a common management strategy for all the grasslands is very difficult. At the same time, there are a few grasslands which are managed by the humans. Again, a bit difficult to strategize a common management platform for every kind of a grassland. However, I have chosen a few management procedures for these grasslands which will help us to have an overview of the management procedures to be followed for these grasslands. Now, before heading for the management procedures of these grasslands, what is a grassland? I will repeat it once again here. A grassland, or more appropriately, we call it as a range. The areas which are predominantly covered with grasses or grass-like plants and are primarily utilized as forage for grazing animals or used as hay. The annual rainfall, as we know, is insufficient to support the growth of the trees, or rainfall also is responsible for not allowing these areas to be the deserts. We can say that these grasslands, they are the central point between the deserts and the forests. We can call them as buffer zones as well, or in ecology we use a term that is ecotone. That means these are the central zone between two different kinds of the ecosystems. However, based on the annual precipitation, as we have said, these grasslands are, however, not restricted to the areas where there is low rainfall. They are also located on the hill slopes and patches of the forests. They are also found in the depressions, as we can see them in the shola regions of South India. They are also found in the Western Ghats, in the Nilgiri and Annamalai ranges. At the same time, why we manage these grasslands? We basically manage these grasslands to prevent these grasslands from turning into the desert lands. As these grasslands They maintain the soil erosion, they maintain the water quality, they maintain the soil quality, and they also help in providing the forage that is important for the sheep, goat, and other dairy animals. Basically, we have observed that the management of grasslands is mainly focused on the needs of the humans. To fulfill the needs of the humans, these grasslands have been raised at the cost of the forests as well. If you see, there are two common terms in grassland ecology. One is rangelands and another is pastures. These rangelands, they refer to large, naturally vegetated, mostly unfenced grasslands with low rainfall areas that are grazed by domesticated animals and the wildlife. The pastures on another side are the improved grazing lands that receive abundant rainfall and are even irrigated, fenced, generally fertilized, and seeded for forage plants. As in the previous lecture, we have there are distinct these grassland ecosystems: the prairies, the steppes, the range pampas, most of the savannas, etc. in different parts of the world. Now, therefore, we have reached to a point where we can see that these grasslands, they are being managed to develop those species which have a potential for this fodder and for the forage. Now coming to the first management procedure, that is the grazing. Grazing, I call it as a technique which is used for the management of these grasslands, for the forage and for the fodder. Basically here the land manager is seeking to maximize the conversion of solar energy to animal production while maintaining these grasslands. The benefit is that the materials which humans cannot eat, for example, we cannot eat grasses, is converted into a product that they can eat. For example, I have written meat, milk, etc. This grazing has its own types. One is called continuous grazing, another is rotational grazing, next is controlled grazing, next is early grazing versus deferred grazing, and next is deferred rotational grazing. The controlled grazing, as far as this grazing is concerned, it is helpful to maintain the grasslands. However, if the number of the stock it exceeds the carrying capacity of the grasslands, it leads to degradation. While as if we keep the number of the livestock less, it allows higher level of primary production, but that is unused. At the same time, we should remember one point, that grasses, they basically co-evolve with the grazing. Well, when we talk of the management of these grasslands through the process of this fire in the form of prescribed burning has been considered as a powerful tool in the grassland management. However, I will tell you, this prescribed fire is not a magic bullet that alone it will just do the miracles, that whatever has been done in the past, once you start this prescribed fire and it will erase all the failures. No. However, prescribed fire can yield many benefits if it is used with other sound management practices. In grasslands, the prescribed fire can increase grass nutritive quality, the availability and yield, reduce hazardous fuels, suppress unwanted plants, and it will improve the wildlife habitat. The grassland quality, the palatability and availability are improved because the fire removes dead plant material and improves access to new growth. If the soil moisture is adequate, grass yields, it increases because it leads to darkening the soil surface, allows it to warm more quickly, and stimulate earlier growth. In this process, the competing weeds, they get suppressed, and therefore the fire, or we call it more precisely the prescribed fire, it has been considered as one of the good techniques for the management of these grassland. The another procedure for the management of these grasslands is the use of these fertilizers. The use or application of fertilizers is common in semi-natural and managed pastures, and this process is undertaken to raise production and increase a representation of the most protective and palatable species. It basically decreases the abundance of less desirable species, that is weeds. Well, the use of these herbicides, they basically are applied to control the invasion, invasion of the exotics or other undesirable plants. Although as a management tool, they have to be used with care to avoid killing plants of conservation value. Now here, we may not be wrong to say this grassland management is the manipulation of natural vegetation in order to achieve some predetermined goals. We have seen that we do bush control, we do burning, we do certain sort of enclosures, we do reseeding, we also do conservation of soil and moisture, we do grazing management, and we have applied these fertilizers. All these measures lead ultimately to the management process. Now this pastoralism is the branch of agriculture concerned with the raising of livestock. It is the care and use of animals such as camels, goats, cattle, yaks, sheep, etc. Now, for care and use of these animals, we need productive grasslands, which could feed ultimately the livestock. Therefore, it is important to determine the suitability of grassland for various uses to allow the development of management plans. Similarly, these grasslands are managed for the production of forage, production of biofuels in some countries rather, or for that matter, the conservation. The conservation is either for the whole area or it is focused on particular plant species or for certain rare species. The management of grasslands is also done to reduce the undesirable invasive species. Many a times the management is also done when the grasslands have gone under some natural disturbance. Now coming back to this pastoralism, on record, these grasslands and other ecosystems have been and are being used by the pastoralists for their needs. Now, as per the records available to us, about 11,000 years ago, the system of pastoralism became established as few people started to domesticate animals and plants as well. You will be surprised because for animals they need plants as well. So pastoralism, it also includes the maintenance of the plants. These people focused on the livestock. They move daily and seasonally across the landscape in search of the fresh grasslands and the water. For example, the Qashqai people of Iran, they traditionally herded flocks of goats and sheep from summer highland grassland near Shiraz to lower land winter grassland near the Persian Gulf. Many pastoral groups have also diversified their activities, like they have by drilling bore wells to create wells to cultivate the grasslands so that they could maintain their herds. Now these pastoralists, they also utilize community lands that are managed through controlled access as open range in which individuals free-ranging livestock are the property of several different owners. And it becomes another discussion, the tragedy of the commons, that is beyond the scope of this particular lecture. Therefore, based on these few points which I have discussed, the management of these grasslands can be carried out. Thank you very much.